In convincing fashion, Dresden's Chris Clements took a huge step towards his UFC dream by defeating Rich Clementi at Meltdown in the Valley in Sarnia. After a flurry of punches that had Rich Clementi, a UFC and professional MMA veteran of more than 60 fights, pinned to the floor, the referee stopped the fight, awarding Chris Clements a TKO on punches at 3:17 of the third and final round. The crowd was decidedly behind Chris Clements in the fight, which was being touted as potentially his last stop before getting the call from the UFC. According to Avant-Garde and Meltdown in the Valley promoter Woodrow James, Chris the Menace Clements and fellow headline fighter John the Haggis Basher Frazier delivered unforgettable performances that undoubtedly caught the attention of the UFC.
John and Chris obviously both stole the show. They came out and beat top opponents. Chris came back, Clements came back, had a huge comeback against a top star in the world, and John dominated a star. It seems impossible that the big show is not going to take them from us, and I couldn't be happier.
Post-fight, Clements said he felt the support of the Sarnia crowd, his first opportunity to fight near his hometown of Dresden.
It was excellent. I went to college here in Sarnia. I grew up in Dresden, a town probably about 40 minutes away from here, so had a lot of friends and family in the crowd, and it's just been legalized in Ontario since the first year, and I've been professional for 6 years, so it was finally nice to come back home and put on a show and let my friends and family see what I put all my hard work into.
After the fight, Clements explained that this was his chance to show UFC promoters what he had.
I just got in there and had a battle tonight. Most of my wins come by way of knockout, but I didn't want to knock the guy out. I didn't want to just go in there and knock him out. I wanted to prove to the people in the UFC and stuff that I could do more than throw a hard punch. I wanted to get in there and have a battle and showcase some ground skills and everything else. So going into the third round there, I caught him with a punch and dropped him, and I noticed he was pretty hurt on the ground. I just went in for the finish and ended up catching an up kick on the way in, but eventually my ground and pound was enough to make the referee step in and stop the match. So.
Speaking of the UFC, is that something that is your goal for your next step in your career?
The UFC is my only goal. That's all I fight for. I want my own fight in the UFC.